Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave, and if my eyes seem puffy, it's because after a genuine old school San Francisco winter and a few sunny days, we're having a pollen bloom to beat the band, and it's kicking my nose's ass. There's a metaphor for you. This reminds me of one of my all-time favorite advertising taglines is from Flamin' Hot Cheetos had a billboard in LA whose copy was, "Headbutt your mouth's face." So recently I was working on some parts of my R2-D2, some little leg battery parts, and there's a little clevis there. That's what a clevis is. It's like when a little fin goes up between two leaves and a cross thing goes through. That's a clevis. It's like a hinge. A hinge is a type of clevis. Anyway, I was making these little clevis parts for the top of these R2 battery parts, and I wanted to hold on to them. And so I went to my drawer of jeweler's clamps, and I pulled out this, which is, I have learned, a Lowell pattern wire pulling hand vise. And I thought, I want to make one of these bigger. Because right now, this one only opens up to, it's about 3/8 of an inch at its maximum. About 3/8 of an inch. That's not enough for me. And I wanted to go up to like 3/4 of an inch, like double that. The problem with this design for that is that these jaws don't stay parallel. And I want to hold on to small things squarely so that I'm not munging them, number one, but number two, so that they don't leave my tool and go flying. When you're polishing and wire wheeling, that's when it's the most dangerous. So this is what I'm going to build right there. I'm going to build a machinist clamp like that. Little parallel vise jaws. This is going to be some interesting, it's going to be some interesting stuff here. So I'm just going to make some drawings. I've got a nice base of cast iron here that I might use for much of this. I've also got some cast iron bar I pulled out of something a couple of years ago. That's multiple passes with an end mill. It's very nice. You know, without something to do, I just figured I'd process some cast iron down to being a square and perpendicular plate for use later, and that may come in handy. I've got some black walnut here for the handle. And I think even though these machinist vise usually have these round handles, I think I'm going to go with this kind of handle because I like it. I like the way it feels. I like the positive orientation it gives you. I want all that. So, that's today's build. We're going to build a hand clamp. I was looking at them on eBay and I was thinking, I want a really nice old one. And then I was thinking, why don't you just make a nice new one that looks old? That's what you do. Yeah, let's do some drawing. I thought I was filming the whole time. What a dummy. Hey, I made a drawing. All right, here's my drawing. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than this clamp. I've made it a little larger for holding on to slightly larger parts. I believe I can get everything I need out of this former microphone stand. We're going to try and use the microphone stand to make this, and this is a piece of old railing that I installed in my house. All right, so first I want to process this piece of steel. Let's do that, mark it. Intended to do. I intended to do that. Always forgetting to do this. So there's the before pic. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do that this old Tony where I go, and these just separate. That's going to be the main body. Oops, sorry. This chunk of cast iron from this mic stand is going to be the main body of this. This piece of black walnut will be the, I think this is walnut. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the handle of this. And yeah, let's get started. Yeah, that's going to be the full width of the jaws. All right, I've got to, I have to square this up somehow. So that's my former mic stand processed into a reasonable piece of steel. Now I'm going to do some layout on there. That's one of the old feet. It doesn't really matter for my purposes. I'm going to do a slice down here and a slice here. And then I'm going to do a slice. I'm going to leave this on the bottom for a while so I can hold on to it. But that's the first thing. Slice there and slice there. Okay, now I'm gonna make that cut all the way down. Well, that's a lovely piece of stock. Let's do some layout on it. So 40 thou. This is a 1/4-inch little slot. I'm trying to machine a 1/4-inch proud here. And you can gather how this is going. It turns out that my 1/4-inch radius mill, I'm just gonna look at some others. Ooh, that might do it, okay. So the issue that I was having, this will at least get me a lot closer out. So the issue that I was having was I wanted to mill exactly a 1/4-inch 1/8-inch radius bump on the end of this. And this is actually, of course it does. It goes deeper than 1/8 of an inch and farther out than 1/8 of an inch. I was thinking I could just squeeze it in. But this is a custom made little end mill that I got as part of a shop buy many years ago. And I'm gonna try that puppy. That is good enough. I can use a file to get this the rest of the way. So after a bunch of some little finagling and finishing, I've got these two pieces very, very tightly tracking together. I'm quite pleased. I almost tapped this hole to 5/16, and then I remembered I don't want to tap anything until I've aligned everything. So now what I want to do is I actually want to cut away a little notch here for the other jaw, because I want to bring this up even closer so that my parallelism will be really nice. But I'm really happy with that. That's a nice little fitment. There's just a tiny bit of rocking, which I want because I want it to rest in there, and I'm gonna go in and lap that a little bit with I'm gonna go and do a little lapping. But first, I want to cut out some business here. This 4-flute carbide here this 4-inch, 1/2-inch carbide is absolutely proving my bread and butter Use my bread and butter mill for this job. I'm also running, it's a 1/2-inch carbide 4-flute, and I'm running it at just over $1,000, just over 1,000 RPM. Let's see here. See if I can do both of these operations at once. I think I can. Let's balance out this vise. Good. You can't see that. Hang on. Here, try that. Oh, actually, try this. Here we go. Yeah. All right, let's get this up. Let's also radius the bottom of this. Ho! Yeah, it was tight. I need to come in just a tiny bit more there. Very happy. That's great. That's just what I wanted. Is that clear? Is that in focus? I can't even tell. There it is. Very pleased. All right, so now what I want to do, yeah, I think I got to find that hole. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do something a little funky here. No, I got to trim the edge of this first because I'm going to lay it down. All right, here's my issue. My issue is there's about a 3/4,000th step between this and this here. So I can't just clamp it flat. I can't just clamp it like this because they won't grab together and this could be off angle. So I'm going to put it down and grab it like this, find that hole, and then drill out the correct holes for the business. All right, I'm going to try locating it using gauge pins. Oh, I picked a perfect gauge pin on the very first try. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Very exciting. Okay, so you go there. You can live there, and I am going to locate this hole just by finding it. That is my 0 out. One last thing, one last check. No, that's pretty darn square. So we're gonna, yeah, we're just gonna slowly bore this all the way through. Okay. That's started. Now we'll do this one. Now I want to ream that out to the exact dimension of my parallel bar, which is 0.1875. That's 5/16. 3/16. I'm so sorry. It's 3/16. Here's a 3/16 actual. Yep. And oh, whoops. You got bumped. I see what happened. Better. All right. Oh, yeah. That is great. That's exactly the fit I wanted. Let's go ahead and tap it while it's here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's make sure this is super straight. Oh, right. Back to 0.43. Back to 0. Okay, so now I've roughed out the shape. I've got it clamped in. I'm going to make those two faces identical, and I've still got about a 3,000th step here. I'm going to face this whole thing. Once I've faced it, then I'm going to do another layout on it, and I'm going to take down everything but the jaws. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So, this is all going really, really well. This is clamped really nice and tight, and yet this still moves, which is a very good sign. Later, I'm going to actually end up probably Loctiting this into here, or maybe even pinning it if I can drill into that. We'll see. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to relieve some of this meat here because it doesn't need to be this heavy duty. You'll see I'm leaving this whole bit so I have some square. I have all this material I can hold on to, which is really important for machining this. I'm going to leave the jaws. Yeah, we're going to slowly remove a bunch of meat from all this, and we'll see how we go. Okay, now I want to drill a hole right through the middle of that puppy. Oh yeah, and then I'm going to pull that out. Great, great, great. Okay, cool. So I'm going to secure this to the handle with a little captured screw down in there. Yeah. And that means I'm also going to end round this business with with one of the things I have. But first, it's time to cut this. Wow, it's time to cut that. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Is it time to cut that? It's coming along. Oh, it's coming along, isn't it? Yeah. Mm. Center it there. Oh, it's not even 1 o'clock. We're doing good. Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you are moving way too much. I know. Yeah. Yep. You all saw it coming. I know you did. All right. Here's how we're going to do this. Every single time I do it. All right, so maybe I should stop throwing good money after bad and just start cutting this thing down. That'll be easier. This is all going to die inside of, yeah, you'll see. All right. Yeah, it's half an inch within a, okay. Boom, 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 boom. It's not going to want to do that. It's going to want to move all over the place. So, okay. What can I do? I'm now going to be working on the vise jaw itself and removing a little more meat from it. This is pretty close. Actually, I want to bring these together. Yeah, I do. I know. I know I'm trying to do too much. No! Ha ha! You're kidding me. All right. Well then, yeah, I screwed up. Let's go over here. Okay, so right. I may cut down that face now. Oh, I'm not sure you were in fact level. Let's get some levelness on you. How many cameras were on you? It's all shaping up nicely. All right, now I want to start to round these off and clean them up. So there's going to be some finishing work. It's time to do the wood. It's time to do the handle. I'm going to chuck it into my 6-jaw and yeah, I'm going to get started. All right. Yeah, we can just start hogging. Well, I had a battery die, but I didn't get too far. Let's see. What did I do? I took one of the parts and I gave it a kind of a polish, and you can see it against its neighbor here. So I think I'm going to do that for this part too. It's coming along. But what really happened was I finished the mock-up on the handle, and now I am going to add the hexagonal facets here like this. Yeah. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to chuck this back in the lathe, sand it down, sand that bulb down there, and we'll be off to the proverbial races. We're not too far. All right, so we're going to bring you over here. I got it plugged in. This right here, this is a 5C collet. And this is a 5C collet block, and you can use these to do a circle dividing, at least if it's six divisions, 120 degrees each. No, 60 degrees, excuse me. So I am going to bring this down here, and I'm just going to spin it up to speed, a high speed. Yeah, I want to go like 2,500 RPM. And then once I get a pass I like, ooh, I like that. All right, let's see how I'm going to zero that. I'll turn that off so I don't. And we'll just give that a spin, and we'll see how close we got. Oh, something went dreadfully wrong. Ah, I see what went wrong. All right. We're going to tighten this puppy up. Did I? Frack, I'm a dummy. I know, I'm not dumb. I remember first learning about collet blocks at Jamie's shop. Well, let's give you a close-up there. Yeah, there we go. Dramatic. Okay, good, that's good. Crisp, beautiful. A spring pass. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, it's not quite perfect. Could be a little better. So here's the handle. Yeah, I'm going to clean this radius up here a little bit. But I really like this. I feel like I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to undo it from this, clamp this back in the mill lathe. You know, that thing. I'm really happy. Feels great. Looks great. Looks the part. I'm just going to use a little handsaw. Cut that right there. Lovely. I'll just sand that a little bit. Look at that. I'm really pleased. It looks great, feels great. Okay, so I'm going to hold this all together using You guessed it, a 5/16 screw. I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to slide down into there. But first, I'm going to thread it into here really tight. Excellent. Now I'm going to cut this on the bandsaw. So, right. So I'm going to use this. That is gorgeous. I'm going to use this. I'm going to put a little bit of brass in there. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah, I'm just going to put a little brass washer in there. Best I can do is a grade 8. Okay, so we are going to... We're going to Loctite that way down in there. That's what we're going to do. However, we're going to figure out just how long this is going to be. Right, so that's where I'm cutting it. Okay, so I'm cleaning out this with a little bit of acetone and because Lord knows how many years of grease are in there. And I'm going to Loctite into this, so I really want it to be clean. Ow! Ooh, that acetone really finds your cuts, doesn't it? Loctite 380, the big stuff. Well, that's certainly set. Okay, now I need a spring. Oh, right, I want to also get the grease and dirt out of this hole here, which is where I'm pinning in. Okay. Will this cut on the bandsaw? I don't think it will, but we'll see. No, it will dull my bandsaw, that's for sure. I feel like I want to do a little more sanding on this thing. There it is. There's my handle. All right. Oh, I'm very happy about that. That is some nice action going on there. Oh, right, spring. See if we can close it all the way up. And we can. Amazing. Okay, so this is great. I still need to do some more polishing on it, and I think, yeah. Let's see how this takes a stamp. Successful S. Here comes an A. Oh, Christ. I thought so much about it, I screwed it up. Wow, I really just like totally messed it. All right. Oh, I'm going to mill a little slot, and I'm going to put the letters at the bottom of the slot, and that'll also make this look a little more like a real piece of equipment. I should be holding on to this nice and tight instead of loose and dumb. S. A. V. A. G. And I think my A, second A, is a V, so we're going to go back over it. There it is. Right. So, I don't love that spring that I had, but we're going to keep going with it. All right, we're going to use a finish for this that I've been thinking about for a while, which is 3-in-1 oil. Yeah, we're just going to douse this in this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, soak it in, baby. Soak it in. You can see all the inclusions. Yeah, it was hard to get a nice surface finish on this cast iron. But I'm pretty pleased with how sturdy it is, and its operation is really quite nice. It opens up, and it opens up to a nice, long, yeah, that is like, yeah, that's what I was hoping for, you know, a good 3/4 of an inch. Actually, yeah, that's like 7/8. This I'm really happy about. Oh, wait. This is one of the other magic tricks of making stuff, is that you draw it and then you make it. Look at that. I'm really happy with that. That is, well, it's pretty much exactly what I drew. Yeah. Let's talk about the things we make, shall we? On the main front, the whole point of this channel is that there's nothing as much fun as making your own tools and your toys, and taking the tools and toys that you have and making them better. It is a singular joy to be a maker of things and be able to make your own things to make more things. It's spectacular, spectacular. And on the journey, as it were, just beating it up a little bit, giving it some kind of soft edges. On the journey that things go on, there are times when we're able to make choices. I'm trying to sneak up on this. Look, I think this is I'm very pleased with it. And also it's in a certain way not beautiful, just to me. I could do some things. I don't know. Look, I'm going to take this home. I'm going to smell it tonight. I'm on my way out to dinner with Adam Rogers. I'm going to show it to him at dinner. In every way, I'm stoked about making this today and what got made today. And I feel like I know a little more about hand vices, and that next time I make one that is a little more beautiful, or that you got to make something in order to understand what your point of view is on the making of that thing. Like these two trapezoids, I mean, they're not weighted the same. They don't relate to each other very well. So I don't know whether I bring this one down and do that. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. Yeah, that may be it. I don't know. I'm very pleased with the knob here. And it closes, and it allows me to hold on to small things with great rigidity. Let's see here. Where's a small thing? Here is a little rivet, and we're just going to put that rivet in there. Oh, yeah. And I can clamp down on that, and this rivet is something I can go and shape and carve and saw and all of that stuff. And when I'm done, I just open it up and the rivet comes back out. So yeah, I mean, I've spent all day on this. I'm like really happy with this tool. It's going to live with me for the rest of my life. Damn, that's a good smell. And I think I now know enough to the next time I go and do this, the next time I go and make one of these, it may be even more lovely. I mean, I got to practice putting my name on stuff with these stamps. I have an idea for a holder that would allow you to stamp onto kind of anything and like be lined up for it each time. That's a nice idea. 513. Well, shit fight shop. I will get more done tomorrow if I clean up today. And that used to be a cast iron mic stand and a bit of a railing, and now it is a hand vise. All right, I was blathering on so long I can't remember if I wrapped this video or not. So yeah, here's to say thank you for joining me for this one-day build. And yeah, if you have a machinist's hand vise that you really like, or a design, or an old style, I know those pin vices that jewelers use where the pins are configurable and you can hold on to some really irregular stuff. I don't need that as much as I need this kind of thing. Strong, small jaws that allow me to do handwork. This might be perfect. Anyway, put them in the comments and I will read them. Thank you guys for joining me for this one-day build, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna clean up for dinner.